Hi guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Cluster Zero. This week we're going to be focusing on integration and differentiating within our lesson plans. We all have prepared lesson plans that focus on integrating a minimum of 3 different subject areas into one, and we're really excited to share our ideas with you guys, so stay tuned.
Okay, so for my integration lesson, I did grade 2, for science, and it was noting the changes that we make before seasonal changes. So I incorporated ELA, art, and science into mine. So I'd start the lesson off by showing kids pictures of having pictures of different seasons on the board, and then I'd say to kids, like, what season is this? Like, what do you do in that season, and how do you get ready for that season? And we'd sort of have that class discussion to build up their thoughts on it and whatnot. And then I would have the students choose one of the seasons. They can pick their favorite season, and I would have them using a tracer cut out a piece of clothing that's representative of that season that they chose, and they would be able to color it. It'd sort of be like a little bit of an art project. They could design it and make it look like something that they already own. And on that piece of art, they would write out 2 to 3 sentences, and I expect strong sentences, and they would talk about just 2 or 3 things that they do in that season, or things they do to get ready for that season. Like pulling out your winter coat, or starting to dress warmer, or stop wearing your coat in springtime and whatnot. So just ideas like that, simple stuff. And then I would display those on a clothesline through the classroom, so that everybody could look at everybody else's and see what their favorite season is, and see how they do things differently.
Nice. I like the idea of the clothesline. It kind of ties it in, other than just sticking on a bulletin board. Right now, the clothesline, it gives it more meaning, and it's like one extra step. So I really like that part.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so for my lesson, I'm integrating science, social studies, and math as my main 3 subject areas. I'm focusing grade 3's cluster 4, so it's describing ways to return organic matter to the soil. In social studies, I'm talking about sustainable development and how recycling and composting, all the ways that we can be green. And then in math, we're going to be doing data analysis, collecting first-hand data, and organizing it, which is SLO 3SP1. So we're going to do a series of activities. We're going to learn about composting, recycling first off, and just being green and that type of thing within our community and also individually. Then we're going to be doing a very hands-on activity. We're going to collect the garbage and recycling from all of the classrooms within our school, and we're going to sort that into 5 categories, which are garbage that should be recycled, recycling that should be garbage, things that were recycled, and then things that we can compost. And we're going to collect the data by classrooms and kind of just keep track of it all. We're going to make graphs and charts and lists and all those things for our math. Then from there, we're going to take a look at our data, and the students are going to have an opportunity to do a think-tac-toe, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. They're going to choose activities on how they want to process the data and make it something real. The big thing I'm focusing on is my students are going to know that they're going to be the sustainable ambassadors for the school for the year. So it's their job that they're going to take this information, and then we have to present the information to the school, and we're going to be very proactive in doing it and make our school more sustainable. So we're focusing on recycling. Composting is our big one for science, and the students are really going to have different ways that they're going to present the information to the schools, to the principals, to the other classrooms. There's going to be persuasive writing pieces, so that's some ELA integration in it as well. And I just want them to be really hands-on in the activity as much as possible. And then when we're all done that lesson, a further step we're going to do later on is the design process, and we're going to actually make a composting, like a composter to have at the school.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to do it with my class and see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Feedback.
I think that would be a really positive experience for the kids. I think they'd be able to take a lot away from that and really apply it to their life. It's not just a lesson that you've got to do because it's in the curriculum, but it's something that is really good life skills as well for them.
It's a very thought out lesson.
Yeah, I'm excited that they're going to be the sustainable ambassadors. I think they're going to take that like with responsibility and be really excited as grade 3s that they can like look after the kindergartens but also the grade 8s, and I just think they're going to think that's really neat and they're going to wear that with pride. So
Cool. All right, so for my integration lesson, I'm doing, again, describing how humans prepare for seasonal changes. That's grade 1, cluster 4. And to start off the lesson plan, I'm going to start off by reading a book called A Snow Day, and it's about a child who has a snow day and does all these different things with the snow. So to integrate other SLOs from other subjects, I'm going to use art and ELA, and this way I'm going to ask the students after the book has been read is to display what they would do if they experience a snow day, so whether it's building a snowman, going sledding, etc. And I would encourage them to cut out like different shapes of snowflakes to include that into their art piece, and then write a little sentence or two about what they're doing in that art piece. So explaining like if they are building snowman and why they like it, etc. Fun, that's cool. Yeah, I think that would be a good way for them to get motivated and know that this will be displayed in the hallways, and so they can get a little more creative with their art piece.
Thanks. I really like the idea of just like the art. I always like when you can put something art related into a thing because it's more engaging for the kids. They like to express themselves through that. So
Yeah.
and it's more than just like coloring, right? There's like a further aspect to it. So I really like that.
Yeah, I really hope that they are able to pick up different materials and use that to use it to explain something else that's not that actual material, right?
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, so now we're going to look at the differentiation within our lessons. We all decided on the think-tac-toe method, so we have a square grid of 9 different activities that the students can choose from. They're going to complete 3 activities in a row, whether it's horizontal, vertical, or diagonal, and this just kind of gives them independence in picking the activities that they want to do. It's going to make them more engaged in the activity, but also in their learning, and it's just they're going to be excited about it. We think it's a great method to do for not everything that you do, obviously, but for certain ones, like the lesson that we've chosen, it gives them a choice, and I think students really like to have a choice.
Yeah.
So we're just going to read through them here. These are all based on the lessons we just spoke about. And yeah, so we'll start it off with the logical mathematics. I am choosing that the students are they're gonna graph the results in 2 different graphs to represent what we found when we did the sampling of the classrooms.
Awesome. For my mathematical one, with the weather, I was going to have the students graph the temperatures in different seasons, so summer, spring, fall, and winter. They could do a bar graph to show the temperatures, which months are colder, which months are hotter, and or they could do a line graph. Yeah, so a couple different ways. Great. And for mine, since it's grade 1 and we're focusing on snow, I would just have the students go around the classroom and count how many snowflakes are displayed in the room.
Cool. So for verbal linguistics, they're going to be creating a slogan to promote recycling and composting within our school, and that'll be something that we're going to put on a big banner.
Awesome, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
For my verbal linguistic one, I had that they would write 2 to 3 sentences that they would display on their art piece of clothing. And same for verbal, they would just like write down what they want to say about their like art piece that they're doing. Cool.
For bodily kinesthetic, they're going to act out 3 different ideas that we learned through the process of recycling and composting. If they want to do like the process of composting or recycling, whatever they want to do, it'll be a tableau form of acting it out.
Okay. For my bodily one, I also had that they would do tableaus, kind of like what we did on our first science class, how we did the tableaus representing a different seasonal activity, and everybody else has to guess what activity you're acting out. For mine, I would have the kids in groups, and we would go outside and make our own snowman.
Cool. Fun. Visual spatial, they're going to create a flyer to raise awareness of the results that we found, so the different classrooms and how they all added up to each other, and also a little splurge about why it's important that we are a green school.
Fun. The visual one for me, I did that they would do the art piece with a different piece of clothing that represents a different season.
And yeah, for mine, it's art again, where they're using different materials to represent what they like doing in wintertime.
Cool.
Interpersonal, they're going to prepare a short speech to present to a different class on their results, so they'll get to go kind of door to door and tell them these are your results and this is how you could do better.
Cool. For interpersonal, for mine, I did that they would put on a play about the seasonal changes, so just like a quick 2 or 3 minute play, and just about like how the seasons are changing and how they're getting ready and the kind of stuff they're gonna do.
And for my interpersonal, they would write a story and then they would share it with another classmate.
Very nice. Intrapersonal, they're going to write a journal of what you recycle, compost, or trash each day. So they're going to kind of have to keep track of what they did throughout that day, and then they're going to journal it out.
Fun. I did also a journal article, and it was that they would write about getting ready for a different season and kind of talk about their favorite activities in that season and what they are like hoping to do.
Mine's similar to writing a story, but in this case they don't have to share it with anyone, and it's just a story about what they enjoy about winter and their activities.
For musical, they're going to create a jingle or a theme song for being sustainable ambassadors.
Oh, cool. Mine was just they would pick a season and they would present a song to the class that is representative of that season. So summer, spring, fall, or winter, and just a song that goes with that.
Nice. Mine would just be picking 3 songs that relate to winter, and they can listen to them if they like.
And the last one is naturalistic, and my students, they can create a pictorial instructions differentiating recyclable, garbage, and composting materials with descriptions. So what goes in composting, what goes in recycling and garbage, and kind of just like showing the process of how each one goes through when they're being recycled or being composted. But it's all going to be pictorial and like a comic strip type idea.
Cool. For naturalistic, for mine, I had that we would draw pictures of each of the 4 seasons and try and really include some of the changes that were happening with each season.
Nice. For mine, I would just get my class to go outside for a walk, get dressed up accordingly, and just take it from there. We can discuss whatever they want to talk about.
Nice. Alrighty guys, well thank you for experiencing this integration differentiation with us today. We hope you learned a lot and stuff that you can take into your classroom yourselves, and thanks for being with us.